Welcome back to the Capital Mindset Show, everyone. Hope you guys are having a great day as always. Today's going to be more of an educational video inspired by Everything Money and how they got this bond calculation wrong. If you're a fan of Everything Money, you watch this video to the end. Hopefully now you're going to maybe say, why am I even following Everything Money? If they got this wrong, what else have they gotten wrong? And remember, this is a guy who claims to have about 20 years of investing experience. And yeah, even during a bad market where he said he'd outperform because he's a value investor or something, he underperformed as well. So, or at least we don't even know because he's not even that transparent about that. So that being said, I want to give a quick shout out to Strongman Personal Finance, who actually made a video about this earlier. This video will be sharing my thoughts on this matter and kind of hopefully adding to the conversation, but go check out his video if you so wish. Now we're going to look at what Paul has to say about this. So here from the man himself.
But on your balance sheet, on your broker statement, the value of the bond went to $500. Now you might wonder, what the heck, how? Well, if the 10-year treasury is 7.2%, somebody can go out that day, tomorrow, and get a 10-year treasury paying 7.2. So they can spend $1,000 to get 72. So in order to get that on your bond, what does the price have to go to from $1,000 to what? To equal the $36 you were getting before. So I'm gonna do a little bit of math here, and it's gonna get a little confusing, but just follow me, and if it gets too overwhelming, I apologize, but I'm gonna try to do this as easy as possible.
It's funny because he confused himself. So he's confused, but he wants to, kind of talk down to you and act like you're gonna get confused, but he's really confused. He's gonna do some cute math here.
All right, so here's the math. You're getting $36 on 1,000, and now you want to calculate if the 10-year treasury goes to 7.2%, what's the new value for $1,000? Well, what do you have to get on $36 to equal 7.2%? Very simple. Take $36.
It is simple, but
by 0.072. So 36 divided by 0.072. Boom, $500. Because guess what? This $36 doesn't change. All that changed was your interest rate. So you have to figure out what you have to pay for a bond.
My goodness. All right.
To get that, if it pays you $36 a year, you make 7.2%. That's how you get the number here. So let's say, for example, let's use the exact same math. Let's say it goes to 8% instead. Now we're doing $36. You get an interest divided by 0.08. What does that equal now? So you do 36 divided by 0.08, 450. So as the rate goes higher, the bond price goes lower.
He's right about that, by the way.
But that's if it happens tomorrow. If it happens 5 years from now, your 10-year bond is no longer a 10-year bond. What is it now?
5-year bond?
It's a 5-year bond. Yeah. So you have to compare your price to the 5-year bond.
He's kind of right about that with the nuance of, 5-year bonds and 10-year bonds. 10-year bonds that are now 5-year bonds are not technically treated the same in the banking system, but in practice, yeah, there's going to be a very slight deviation, very small, minimal. So I kind of wanted to stop it there because you can watch the video for yourself, but that's kind of where it ends. And I want to show you exactly why this is super incorrect. So let's go with the example that illustrated in the video. And we have the $1,000, 3.6%, and it goes to 7.2%. The value of the bond is now 50% lower. Okay, so let me disprove it first by thinking about it rationally without the confusing math, okay? So you're going to lend or you're going to buy this bond, right? Like he said, you're going to get $1,000 back. You're getting $1,000 back plus all the interest payments. So let's say if the market started offering you, because interest rates went up, and now the market's offering you those same bonds for half off, okay? Let's calculate using a simple IRR function. Very simple, very basic. Everything we're going to be discussing, you learn in your first finance class, okay? Nothing is super complex. So let's use an IRR calculation to illustrate this, right? So we have $36 in payments. We pay $500 in year 0, illustrated by year 0, and then we pay across for 10 years, right? And at the end, we get $1,000 and the last $36 in payments. We calculate a simple IRR calculation. We end up with 13%, okay? Why would you invest in stocks at that point? Why would you invest in stocks? It would make no sense. It would make no sense. And then, if we're talking about it, we're using the 10-year example. This would not make any sense for the person to sell their bond, and you would just be buying these up all day, every day. Well, let's look at the reality of how these things can change. So let's go to the correct way tab. And I want to start off with let's go with 1 year. Okay. So with 1 year, let's go with an interest rate of 5%. And let's say it goes up to 7.5%. Okay. So we see a reduction in the value of the bond by about 2.33%. So what we're doing, and this is maybe could be more properly named away from annuity, but this is just reflecting the value of the interest payments, and that's the maturity payment at the end of the life of the bond. And then we get the total value of $976.74, but we paid $1,000 for it. And I'll go over the formulas in just a second towards the end of the video. So with that altogether, we get a reduction in the value, but nothing near what was described earlier. Now, I want to show you quickly the importance of duration and how duration really does affect the change or sensitivity to things. So now I changed it from 1 to 10. Okay, with that, now we have a 17% reduction in the value of the bond. Okay, let me show you from 10 to 30, right? We have 30-year bonds out there. It's a reduction of 30%. So what I'm illustrating here, hopefully that you're getting, is the sensitivity of duration to fluctuations in interest rate. So if you think interest rates are going to come down, you take the bet of long duration. If you think interest rates are going to go up, you take short duration. So that's something we did last year. We shorted duration, and then we also took long duration, switched over that in about November. So we didn't capture the full top of short duration, but we did, I guess, do for now pretty good on long durations. Things I don't really discuss on YouTube because for the most part, you guys don't really need these strategies whatsoever. And that's where the community came up with the joke phase 2. If you see people comment phase 2 here and there, that's because within the community, we have that joke about, oh, phase 2 expansion of the plan or the strategy. But anyways, so taking long duration, short duration, things that you really don't even need, but hopefully this kind of illustrates how the math kind of pencils out. So there are some other, kind of calculations you can do. I put this together in like about 5 minutes or so, not even 5 minutes. So there might be like something, but this video is not going to be about that. I'm just going to be kind of going over the bird's eye view of these topics, but you can calculate the Macaulay duration. Using the Macaulay duration, you get the modified duration. With the modified duration, you can get the sensitivity, the daily sensitivity to a change in interest rates for the bond that is in question. But we're not going over that in today's video. If you guys want another video on that, just let me know down in the comment section below. And if I have the time, I can go over it, but it's not really needed. I just wanted to, show you or introduce you to something that you can look at or research further after this video, because this is just really the basics. Like I'm promising you, this is the basics, and they got this wrong. So what else do they get wrong? Ask yourself that question. If they got the basics wrong, what else are they getting wrong? And are the other things more complicated or less complicated than this? And I'll tell you straight up, valuating a business is far more complicated than valuating a bond. Okay, just to be clear. And yeah, that's a big mistake. Okay, so I want to go over some of the calculations and walk you through some of it. If you guys are taking this class right now, this maybe helps you out with your review for your exam. I think this is going to be on like your first exam because it's pretty basic stuff, especially like the IRR stuff, but calculating bonds should be pretty easy. So we take a look at the annuity, again, probably incorrectly named, but this is just taking the payments. You can create a formula to account for the payments and the maturity payment all at once. I separated them to have them illustrated here. So you can see the negative value is put out on the payments value. Now you can actually, or sorry, not the payments value, the face value. This is to, again, kind of talk about, okay, what's going on in this relationship. Well, we're paying that $1,000. So you don't have to actually put that in there. And you see that it comes out to negative. This is incorrect. So you have to make sure that if you at least do that, you got to put the negative value out here at the end. Let's go ahead and change this to 10-year, for example. And let's kind of make this to the 5% as well. So kind of keep it at $1,000. So the total value, the present value should be $1,000, which it is $1,000, $1,000, because that's what we're paying for it. And then we say the maturity value, again, same principle here. So if you don't have the negative out here, you want to make sure that the negative is in there somewhere. What that's kind of going over or explaining, and here it's not going to matter because the payment, it's going to automatically know. But if you were to combine them, it actually does matter. So right here, you can see now that you see, like, again, doesn't matter if you put it inside or outside, but if you don't have it, negative, right? Comes out as negative. So if we put negative in here, it's fine. If we put negative out here, it's fine. What you're basically illustrating, or why this is technically, well, this is technically the right way of doing it. the way I'm doing it is kind of like the dirty way when you put the negative on the outside. But what you're basically saying is I'm paying $1,000. It's $1,000 leaving me. That's why it's negative. And then I'm getting it out in the future, why it's positive. Another way you could do it that's super dirty in some ways, but this value is now going to be wrong if I do it this way. But mentally, it's the same thing if you think about it. It's going to be the same nominal or absolute value. I see it's $1,000. The absolute value is still 1,000. So you take the absolute value, 1,000, comes out to the same number. So if you're just trying to get the answer for yourself mentally, and it's not for like an exam question or anything like that, you know, this should be fine enough. Just remember that in your head to put it to $1,000, or you can just do it the correct way. Don't be too lazy about it, and you just put your negatives properly in there, and then you get the actual value. And this is going to be an exam correct question. Okay. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you found value in this video, if it was educational, you learned something, feel free to leave a like, share it with someone if you feel like it could go a long way in helping them out. And yeah, also maybe if you know someone who watches Everything Money and doesn't know how they get the simple things wrong, they get the really simple things wrong, and they don't want to maybe it make them think, they get that simple thing wrong. What about the complicated stuff? And maybe their underperformance, maybe there's a reason for that. All right, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.